bit on the rare soil fraction awards, right? So the way it works, quickly go in here, we have 5 days. You have this period of where you can decide what side you're on, right? So you're going to have whatever fractions, whatever servers decide to go on either one, right? 4 on each side. So here's what happens. This is where the rat race begins. Everyone is battling for Rebel most of the time, depending on what your allies like that. There are a couple different reasons. Come in here, we can go through the breakdown and everything else. But again, 4 for each war zone, right? So there's 4 and 4, total of 8 in your server for your grouping for season 2. Here's what the breakdown looks like, right? So this is very important because you have to have an understanding. You're going to gain most of your points when you are the rebel or attacker. Reason being is because you're going to gain so many more from them. Where if you're the defender, as long as you hold them off and they war sustain it. Week 6, when you are the rebel or attacker, you get 20% of the rare soil if you succeed, meaning you're going to get a lot more. Now in week 6 is when it becomes 30% you can take from week 6 to week 8. As we can see here, the defender has a little bit of an advantage on 6 and 7. But you'll have the ultimate advantage as you can take your last try on the last week. Okay? That's why a lot of people want to go rebel. As we can see here, you have a grouping lined up here. See what they're going to do. I'm not going into crazy detail with this, just an understanding of this. There's a couple of different phases. Phase 1, you'll allow yourself to choose what target you're going to do. In that phase, you'll have 24 hours to decide. You can't choose multiple ones after that. You can only choose one target. You can have your allies help you and assist. The other thing that comes into play is if you're a super big alliance, it's gonna be within reason. You're not gonna be able to attack an alliance that's half your size or half your power. It has to be relatively close for a competition to be competitive. All right, and then the next thing that comes into play that I see all the time is a lot of people use different strategies. The most common one I see is going to be called the corner defense, where you take all of your top server players or whoever and put it in here. The problem with this, it's good and bad. It can get really bad really fast. Reason being, if we're all stacked up in this corner and I'm relying on everyone else to properly be spaced out, now if I have an alliance that is all targeting the same person, instead of inviting 3 or 4 alliances, now you have multiple chances of missiles hitting, which is very, very bad. Because now, if you're not able to beat them, or you don't have a player big enough to stop that missile, then you're in a lot of trouble. Reason being, again, now instead of worrying about one missile, we worry about many. So that's one of the most common ones. If you play it right, it's a good defense. It's very tough to do it, though. The biggest thing that comes down to is timing on everyone and what you have the coordination with the other alliances. A lot of it also comes down to how active your server are and if all the members from other alliances are having the ability to be on at the same time. Next, you'll see a couple servers that team up together where they put their furnace in a certain way and they block it in. Remember, when the missile goes off, it's a 12 by 12 blast. So let's say this is the 12 by 12. They put the missile right here. Anything in that range is going to be sent off like the meteor strike. They're going to be gone. The furnace hopefully doesn't get destroyed there. And then you have the Martial Guard will not go. But anything in this blast, let's say it's right where the GSN base is here, and any of these ones in this 12 by 12, they're all getting sent when the missile goes off. They're gone. Bye-bye. Talk to you never. Right? So you want to plan for that, right? You want to make sure that you have that 12 by 12 radius covered, and you're not going to lose your best players. What I'm not doing is I'm not stacking my top players here for those reasons. Because if it does go off, you're really in a world of hurt, right? So you want to keep that in mind. Defenders, it's tough too. You have to have a really good battle plan. Because remember, your warlord has to be protected, and you have to make sure he doesn't die. It doesn't take long for the missile to go off, but you're going to have tons of people targeting you. So just keep that in mind. I wanted to cover a little bit of this. I'm not going to go crazy detail because there is a lot of different phases here. So there's no point of jumping ahead. I don't want to give you guys too much, and then you're thinking about the next stage, but I will update everyone as it comes out. So right now, it's just choosing your faction. Whether it's Rebel or Jardinon or whatever you want to call it, I call it defense. Choosing that side. Once it's chosen, you'll have a brief period of where you'll have to wait. Then at your normal weekly reset, it'll be there. There'll be a 24-hour period where you can target an alliance if you're Rebel, and vice versa. Someone will target you for defense. Okay? This would be the time to have your game plan for either one, once you know what you are. Talk to those allies or friendly neighbors who you might be stacked up with, and make sure that you have an understanding with them, all right? So that's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully this video somewhat helps you have an understanding of how the basic understanding of this works. As you go on, it's going to get a little bit more complicated, things like that. So just keep that in mind. So, as always, guys, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, reach out to me. Twitch, Discord, or in the game. Again, if you want to help this channel grow, or you're interested in the guides I do every month, I do more comprehensive ones for every different topic. Reach out to me. All right, guys, see you in the game. Later.